unlocking the real power of influencers, strategies, challenges, and success stories.
Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Jose Vargas, and I want to introduce this interesting panel. Today we have an influencer, an operator, and a media agency. So I'm going to start introducing you. Please, Dylan, can you introduce yourself?
Yo, what's up? I'm Dils. I'm an influencer and a streamer.
Sidon, I'm the CEO of an agency dealing with celebrities and influencers.
And I'm Vitaliia. I'm from Pinup Traffic. I'm influence marketing manager.
Okay, so the first topic I want to discuss is the evolution of influencer marketing. We've seen nowadays that everyone wants to work with influencers in all the rounds of affiliate marketing. So my first question will go to Vitaliia. From the brand's perspective, what is the biggest shift that you have the approach with the influencer in the collaborations today?
At Pinup, we've shifted our focus towards building long-term relationship with influencers. Instead of one-off campaigns, we also invest into long-lasting exclusive partnerships with influencers instead of one-off campaigns, as I mentioned. We prioritize working with influencers who build real trust with their audiences, who can really engage into their content and the messages they are sharing. This is what we do actually to stay ahead in evolving influencer landscape.
Thank you. Now, Sidon, you have an agency that also works with influencers and streamers, correct? So,
yeah.
in your work right now, have you seen any strategies evolving differently in the entertainment of digital against other sectors?
Exactly what you said. So, as an agency, we take on D2C brands and big tech companies, and then also a ton of our business comes from online entertainment, right? I would say the two differences, one is the platforms where the influencers are on. So for online entertainment, it's much more living on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube versus a big D2C or a big tech company. They usually want to activate influencers on Instagram and TikTok. So those are the first two things. And then I want to add on too, in online entertainment, it's so important that you have a core-like audience as an influencer for that specific niche versus a big D2C brand or a big tech company. They can hire a lifestyle influencer that their following might buy a coffee coupon or they might buy makeup. It's not the same in online entertainment.
Great input. And talking about the real influencer here, Dylan, what is, as a creator, as a streamer, have these shifts in the evolution of the influencer marketing changed how you engage with brands? What is different this year compared to the other ones?
For me personally, the biggest change was the shift from Twitch to Kick. The level of freedom Kick has completely changed how I create content and interact with my audience. On Twitch, there was always this feeling of being on edge, like you had to be extra careful about what you said or what you did. But on Kick, I have the creative freedom to truly be myself, experiment with different formats, and engage with my community in a more authentic way. That's been a game changer for both my content and the way I collaborate with brands.
Thank you, man. So the next topic I want to jump in is choosing the right influencer and building stronger partnerships. Right now, there's a lot of options in the market. There's many tools to find influencers, but the main question is, how do I approach the correct one? How can I hire an influencer and be sure that we're working in the correct way? Vitaliia, I know that from your experience, you work with many creators in LATAM. What are the key points that make you choose a top performer rather than the average ones?
At Pinup, we choose really carefully influencers to work with who really align with our brand values. We start with analyzing their audience to make sure it matches our target market. We also pay attention to their values, content story, content plans, and engagement levels to be sure they are really resonate with their audience. Also, we pay attention to authenticity. This is really important for us that influencers have built trust with their audience. And we also open to clear communication with our influencers regarding the regulation stuff. So yeah, this is our main approaches in choosing influencers.
Perfect. Thank you. And Dylan, in your experience, what does brands often misunderstand working or engagement with influencers like yourself?
One of the biggest misunderstandings is that not all influencers have real engaged audiences. A lot of people might look famous on the surface, but in reality, their following doesn't translate into genuine interaction or influence. Brands sometimes focus too much on numbers rather than real engagement. Another big mistake is forcing creators into promotions that don't align with their audience. If someone has built their community around entertainment or lifestyle content, not gaming or high-risk activities, pushing them into something completely unrelated is a losing strategy. You need creators whose audience is naturally interested in what you're offering. If a brand partners with an influencer whose following isn't genuinely engaged with the content, the results won't be there. Authenticity is everything.
Thank you, Dylan. And lastly, Sidon, you are the link between an operator and a streamer. What do you do? What is your biggest advice in this type of commitment?
My biggest advice would be, well, one, I'm in the business of selling to people. So I'm selling, the operator or the online entertainment company, and then also the influencer on why the partnership can be so strong. And what comes with that is, telling the influencer to her point is, hey, this is going to work out to something long term, not just a one-off post, right? And then the brand has to see the value as well, too. And I think it's about a combination of us as an agency, the brand, and the influencer getting creative on all fronts, because it's not just a one-man team, right? All three of us have to be on board in what the partnership looks like to be able to create, the most impactful one. But I think at times it can start with walking before running, and that could be one stream or one post, but no influencer wants to hear that because they don't feel valued. So my business, just to simplify it, it's understanding both people's objectives and aligning them on the proper channels and making sure it's lastful, not just something so quick. We don't want our influencers to be walking billboards that just take any and every brand. They're picky just like the brand should be picky on who they hire.
Right, thank you. And just to take on that, what is your advice also? Would you advise brands to work with a short-term influencer, or do you prefer a longer period working with the same influencer in your experience?
Short term, if they don't perform, we don't bring on people that don't perform. Long term, if they're driving results.
Perfect, thank you. And then I want to change another topic, talking about the challenges and being compliant in this digital world that we are. Sidon, your agency, it works in many industries. Talking about the industry that we are gathered today, what is the biggest compliance and difficulty in these policies?
I would say on our end, it's making sure you bring in the results. So compliance and policies, of course, are one part of it. I'm based in Los Angeles. My company's based in Los Angeles, but we take on streamers and influencers and celebrities globally, right? Where, being in LA is similar to Dubai in the sense we're a leader in entertainment, right? But that doesn't mean we only work with people in the States. So I would say that's one hurdle, is we have so much great talent that's based in Los Angeles or the US. Unfortunately, they can't necessarily work with most online entertainment brands. That's one part. The second hurdle is making sure you bring in results such as, FTDs and driving real hard metrics. And that's a big difference that I see in a lot of D2C and big tech companies is they're okay with brand awareness. The companies that are $1 billion plus, they're fine with brand awareness and just putting their logo everywhere. $1 billion or less, you need to be able to show them a ROI, right? What did they get back from what they paid? And that's the second biggest hurdle, because that's not always up to the streamer influencer. It could also be the entertainment or online entertainment interface, their website, their bonus structures, whatever it is. So I hope that gives context.
Thank you. And Vitaliia, from the operator side, how do you think these regional policies or can be unpredictable affect the performance of your campaigns?
As for operator, it's a real challenge, but the key is to always stay informed about local regulations. We work closely with the legal teams to make sure our campaigns are campaigns comply with local guidelines while still being creative and engaging. At PINUP, we focus on clear communication with influencers regarding different restrictions like age restriction or responsible online entertainment standards while still leaving the space for their creativity. So yeah, the most important is to balance creativity with responsibility in this case.
Thank you. And lastly, for Dylan, in your case, the creator side, you have you see all these restrictions. Do you think that they're a limitation for you to develop your career as an influencer?
A lot of people are scared that they're going to get into trouble, and I understand that. For me, I've had to turn down brand deals from sketchy casinos because I've got to make sure that my audience is looked after. That means I have to be careful about who I work with and the brands I promote. When it comes to legislation in Australia, the biggest concern is the sketchy casinos and platforms. The fewer of those, the better. A lot of these unreliable platforms hurt the industry with the creators who work with it hard to build their trust of the audiences. That's why I only collaborate with entertainment companies that operate transparently and cater to the audience in a way that'll make sense. To me, it's about long-term trust, not just quick deals and cash.
All right, thank you. And then I just want to bring the last topic, talking about the future of this industry of influencer marketing. Maybe with you, Dylan, just to close up. What do you think about the difference between, right now, these days, short-term content is very popular. We have TikTok, we have Reels. But before, it was more about long-term content like YouTube videos. What do you think is the new hit that the younger creators should focus around?
Long-term content will always be there, but it's harder to build an audience based off of long-term content. Short-term content is popping right now. Like, for example, I posted a reel last week. Within 24 hours, I had 1 million views. If I was to post long-term content, I don't think I'd get any traction at all.
1 million views, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Sidon, as your agency works, I guess, with a lot of tools, AI-driven, a lot of out-text tools, what do you think is very important in order to take these decision-makings?
Data is very important. I spoke about this at the last Sigma event. If you have a big streamer, a big celebrity, that's one thing. As an agency, a lot of people can get you that. I'm sure you can get in touch with whoever it is, right? If you go email them. What we do on top of that is getting creative and then compiling the data in real time. And what that looks like is seeing a spike in the stream or seeing a spike in the Instagram post and then being able to see, okay, why was that spike? Why were viewers most engaged there? Again, in real time, constantly updating our own in-house dashboard and showing the client that. And once you're able to figure that out, you can take that content and clip it up. And I'm sure Dylan knows about this and you know about this. We're in the clipping era where what that means is you take the most viral clips and it gets repurposed across huge media channels all over, mainly Twitter or X and a bunch of other platforms. And I think that is a big part of what we do is not just get creative, not just have the talent, but show the data, again, in real time. So the brand is not left unaware in what is this doing for me? They can see it. They can see the metrics and they can see the views.
Thank you. And Vitaliia, what is the one trend brands should focus now, staying ahead on the influencer marketing?
I believe, as Dylan already mentioned, brands should focus on adapting their content plans and strategies to emerging platforms like Kik and TikTok. In TikTok, success comes from short brand trend-driven content, while Kik is more about interactive live streaming and real-time engagement. So I believe brands who can really adjust and tailor their strategies to these dynamics may highly increase their reach, engagement, and connection with the audience.
All right. Thank you, Vitaliia. We're reaching out to the end of our panel. Thank you very much, guys, for being here. I just want to ask you one last question that is very, very popular these days. Now we see a lot of scammers, a lot of streamers faking traffic, using bots. What is your biggest concern when you're hiring these individuals, like on the operator side, Vitaliia?
As I already mentioned, the clear communication with influencers. So everything should be clear, opened for both sides, influencer, agency, and operators as well. So in this case, we just verify the data, verify the influencers, their statistics, and so on to make sure that we can avoid scammers and fraud in this way.
What about Sidon? Do you have any tips or recommendations to avoid having these bad understandings?
You have to triple check the tools. That's why we provide the data in-house, right? So they can see it in real time. And I think there's a few obvious ones just to give pointers where on their Twitch channel, if it has a Telegram link immediately and then no videos are up, that's a big red flag. Yeah. So there's other little pointers and tips and looking across their other socials as well too. And sometimes it's not the streamers or influencers with the biggest numbers. It could be someone with 5,000 or 10,000 followers that they have a core-like audience. And to me, that's a sign. Why would you fake 5,000 to 10,000 followers? It's not that much. So I think there's a few pointers and tips in those, but there's some that are a little bit more obvious than others.
Right. And then, Dylan, I guess you have some streamers, friends who are not going to the right side. What advice can you tell them, I mean, the operators looking for streamers and not choosing the fake ones, the incorrect ones?
So what's the question for am I advising for the streamers?
Yeah, no, for the advisor, for the operators, or for the industry. Like, how do they need to choose the correct ones and avoid the fake ones or the scammer ones?
I mean, yeah, it's easy to look at the data. Like if they've got a large following and then they're not getting any engagement, like there's probably got some shonky fake followers on them. You know?
All right. Okay, thank you. That's the end of our panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.